Welcome to Capture the World with Dee. Interviews with companies and individuals to learn more about digitally capturing the built world. Video, drone, 3D tours, pictures, panoramas, and more. And now your host, a social influencer and community activist, Dee Johnson.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Capture the World with Dee. I'm your host, Dee Johnson. My guest today is the founder of Showcases 3D, a vacation rental platform where property hosts can showcase their vacation rentals in virtual 3D. It's the story of a lovely gentleman and full of success. So without further ado, please help me welcome Shukuri Shah. Hi, Shukuri. How are you?
Hi.
Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Great to be on. I'm really excited about today's show and getting to know your audience and possibly getting some feedback on what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. So your story is amazing. I keep telling poor Shukuri how impressed I am with him. I thought he was a young man, but not maybe as young as I thought. Anyway, so a great success story. So let's jump right in. Let's have you begin by telling us a little bit about yourself and your past, your life, and how you got to where you are today.
Okay, so if we want to trace the trajectory that landed me to where I'm at now, I think it goes back to, my younger years where I was full of creativity and art became one of my ways of expressing, my own original concepts and thoughts and design. So I was really attracted to the art scene. I started writing a lot of poetry. Wow. And I found that I had a knack for writing. And that eventually led to writing short stories. And then I moved on to doing stage plays and screenwriting. I actually did 5 years as a stage actor.
Wait, what?
Yeah. And just a quick story on how that happened. I really wanted to improve my writing for the screen and, just wanted to see what it was like on the other side of the script. Mm-hmm. So one of my mentors said, well, why don't you try a few acting classes and see what it's like to read a script, for an audience. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what, that kind of makes sense. Let me try that. And so I could get, a much fuller understanding of what's the dynamic here, and so I ended up doing that for 5 years.
Wow.
So I really started off with a great passion for screenwriting. I wrote several scripts, a couple got optioned, nothing ever got produced. And I think that's what led me to the decision to start my own production company. So I was like, man, there's no way I can get, a major studio to pick up my story and transform it into a movie. Let me do it myself, right? So that had its own challenges. It's not that easy to just go from, your average screenwriter to running your own production company and putting out movies. So what I ended up doing meantime was shooting a lot of events, right? So here I am, I'm in the middle of all this gear and production studio. So me and my partner, we just started focusing on what were the next steps in creating content that people would love in the future. And everything that we looked at said 3D, immersive, VR, XR. So that's when we decided, hey, let's invest in some 3D hardware and put some stuff together and see how people like it. So that led us to Matterport, which at the time and probably still is the world's leading 3D software company. And I just found myself shooting a lot of real estate stuff, which the money was decent, and I enjoyed creating virtual replicas of spaces that people were interested in looking at. So I've been doing that for the past 6 years. So one thing about 3D technology is that there is so much unexplored areas
Oh,
in
yes.
how it can be implemented.
Yes.
And that really interested me. So, I was looking at, how can you integrate 3D for different uses, for um, being a little bit more interactive with people who may be interested in seeing a space, but just don't want to walk through it. They want to have some other type of interactivity. So I thought about creating for example, a game where you kind of like go out on a hunt for objects, or you're trying to solve a mystery by finding different things in a space. Um, and that took some traction, but it required so much coding, which at the time Matterport didn't have their APIs set up where we could, integrate into their system. Um, and so I think finally I saw a space that was not being occupied by anyone else. And it was the fact that there was no single place on the web where people can visit all types of virtualized spaces from around the world, right? And that really interested me. I said, what if there was a space like, imagine if Airbnb had their entire listing in 3D. And so that would not leave me alone at night. So I just said, you know what? Let me see if I can put something like that together. And so that's what I've been doing for the past 7, 8 months.
So you contacted me a while back and said, "Hey, I have this idea," which was Showcases 3D. And I said, "Great. Come back to me when you have something else." And you went away and poof, there you were. You had actually implemented this whole thing, which we will talk about. I was so impressed with you that you actually took it and you did it. I think it's a great idea. I think it's something that isn't out there right now. So let's go ahead and let's talk about what is Showcases 3D.
So Showcases 3D aims to be the go-to place for vacation goers to find and decide on rental spaces from around the world, with much more fun and ease than browsing photos on Airbnb. And that's because rentals that are posted on our site, they're all virtualized for immersive 3D navigation, and with the option to live chat with the host. And so this in turn gives rental property hosts who post their virtualized properties a marked advantage in generating more interest, giving more clarity, and increasing bookings.
Yeah, exactly. I think when you're looking for somewhere to book on a vacation, it's part of the fun is looking at the places that you could stay at and imagining what it would be like to be there. So,
Right.
a 3D virtual walkthrough or being able to walk through the space sort of gives you more of that feeling of what it would be like. My son recently went to Texas on vacation and he was surprised in a good way with the place that they rented. So it would be nice to just know. I would like to know, certainly when I'm booking somewhere where I'm going to stay, what does it look like? A lot of times it's like, well, we have this party of people going. So how many beds do you have? Am I going to have to share a bathroom with somebody else? So those things are all good to know.
No, absolutely. I think we've been holding on to the concept of having, 2D flat still images as the way of seeing a space remotely. Yeah, it's nice to have, these nice, new 4K photos that you could shoot with your iPhone, but it doesn't give you the um, the depth, the
Mm-hmm.
dimension, and the relation that each room has to the other,
Yep.
right? So it's completely different experience when you're able to navigate the space and look at it as if you're actually there. That gives you so much more information to base your decision on.
Yep.
So if you're looking for a space, having a 3D immersive walkthrough just makes you much more confident that this is the space that you really want to use.
A lot of times too, I find with a 2D picture, because it's static,
Mm-hmm.
if they haven't caught the exact place that I'm looking for, like for example in the kitchen, I want to
Mm-hmm.
see like what is on the counter. Maybe there's an appliance on the counter that it was like, oh, they have a coffee machine, right? And in a 3D photo or panorama, you can pan around and look at whatever you want. You're not reliant on the angle or what a 2D picture is showing you. So I find that very valuable.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think 3D walkthroughs speak for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I rarely have to explain to someone what it is if I can show them,
Yeah.
right? So I
Yep.
don't have to describe, okay, here's what it looks like, boom, and go through an A to Z listing of all these physical characteristics, right? I said, no, don't worry about it. Just take a look. Here you go. Here's
Yep.
an iPad
Yep.
or tablet or whatever, and you could look for yourself. And I don't think there's been any instance where a person didn't have their jaw drop because they were like, wow, something like this actually exists. I didn't know that. This is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely the wow factor, which I think adds value to someone who wants to market their hosting property, via a 3D model. And then it kind of adds also credibility to the person's tech savviness, right? If someone is really tech forward in their thinking,
Yeah.
it means that they're really invested in their product or in their space,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So it makes sense for someone who's really looking to get a lot more engagement, exposure, and clarity about their space for someone who is looking for a space in their area.
So if you're a photographer, you can approach people who have rental properties, scan their property using Matterport, put it on Showcases 3D. If you're somebody
Right.
looking to rent somewhere, you can go to Showcases 3D and look at all properties that are for rent wherever you're looking.
Exactly. Right. So it's kind of like a three-way intersection, right? Where you have your 3D capture professionals who can offer their services
Mm-hmm.
to people who host properties and need their property virtualized into a immersive 3D showcase. And then you have your viewers from around the world
Mm-hmm.
who are planning a trip, they're planning a vacation or they're traveling to, across the world and they need a place to stay. And so this, as an option, gives them a lot more to go by when they're deciding, hey, where should I stay? Is this actually a space that's right for my needs?
Mm-hmm.
So that three-way intersection, I think, is it has a dynamic that we're not seeing in any other platform right now.
Yeah.
So that's what's really got me excited about it.
Okay. So, how do I learn more about Showcases 3D? You,
Okay, so our website is currently in beta. Um, the company itself is a startup, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes along with building a startup team. Getting capital, getting your investors involved, so that you can really create something that is robust.
mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, what we have at the moment is a functional website. Anybody can sign up as a basic viewer. Anyone can sign up as a 3D Capture Pro. anyone can sign up as a property host. Um, I would advise anyone who's currently interested, visit our website, sign up. We currently are doing a discounted membership for our property hosts. So it's currently at half price of what we would usually charge. So if you sign on as an early adopter, you get that half price, and you can then build your posts, showcase your property. And what happens is that instead of managing a booking system internally, we decided not to try to compete with the Airbnbs and VRBOs. So instead, what we've done is we've allowed the property host to link to their page on, let's say for Airbnb, for their property, and prospects who are interested in the space can book there, right? So we're kind of creating a pre-fabricated alliance with Airbnb, because then they don't have to worry about, Showcases 3D becoming a direct competitor, for what they're currently not doing, which is providing 3D showcasing to their property hosts.
Which is
Um,
insane. Right. I keep saying that this will be annexed and swallowed up by Airbnb at some point because it's crazy. But that's another point. So the website is www.showcases, right? 3D.com. So that's
exactly.
SHOWCASES, the number 3, the letter
Mhm.
D.com.
Sure. If you'd like, I can give you like a really quick view
Yes,
of
we'd love that.
what it looks like with a share screen. So I'll do that now.
And I've put the website in the description of this video. So if you're
Okay.
interested, please check that out.
So let me just call that up. Okay, here we go. So share screen. Share. So this is what you're looking at is what a property host would design as a post for that particular property that they want to market and put on our platform. So here, the first thing that'll pop up is the 3D walkthrough. And the property host can set it to come up automatically or require the viewer to press play and then, take a walkthrough of the space.
Yeah, it's smart starting actually with the dollhouse because that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. I want to be able to have the 3D experience front and center.
Well, see,
And
here's what I was
so,
talking about. So if you go to the kitchen,
mhm,
you can look at anything on that counter. You're not like stuck with whatever they took in the photograph, so that you
right,
can pan
true.
and see. That's what I like. I like to be able to see everything, not just what the photographer wants me to see.
Right, exactly, exactly. And that's pretty much, their objective is for you to see what they want
Yep.
rather than you allowing you to navigate the space and get a sense of, you know, how much space is actually there. And what's the relationship of each room to the other? Because
Yep.
now,
Yep.
if I'm looking at just a photo of this bedroom, I wouldn't know where the bedroom is at,
Yep.
you know?
Exactly. Yep.
So, you get that with the dollhouse view.
Yep.
And you can't even do that by being at the space physically. So to get, a view of the entire structure is just a genius of Matterport. And that really just gives you a sense of, okay, how much space am I working with and where is everything in relationship to the other,
Yep. For
right?
sure.
So Now, what they can also do is schedule a a live chat session with the hosting agent, and the hosting agent will appear here.
Mm-hmm.
And they can have a live chat. The hosting agent can also do a share screen where they can take control of how the 3D showcase is presented and walk the viewer through the space themselves. And then as you scroll down on the post, you'll have, your pictures. There's a gallery
Mm-hmm.
that the agent can add photos to. Then you have your Google Maps. Hey, where's the space located? You can check that out. And then there's something about, the agent or host at the bottom. And then right here, you see where it says check availability is where now if the person is interested in um, reserving the space, this will take them directly to, the online travel agency's calendar and booking widget. So you click that, it'll take you to that particular agent's page, and they'll have all of the stuff that Airbnb will list um, for that particular property, and then they can continue to reserve by clicking the reserve button, and then proceeding that way.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's cool.
yeah,
That's
so this
smart.
is a really great way to do that. Here you're looking at a booking calendar so that a person who's interested can book a live chat session with the property host. And then when that happens, you'll come back up here on the scheduled date and time, and you'll do a walkthrough with the agent or host.
Cool. This is a great platform if you've got property you're renting out.
Yeah, I think that this is one of the areas, the major areas in real estate and rentals that has not
Mm-hmm.
been, let's say, upgraded
Yeah.
by 3D technology.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other platforms that do something similar, but they're either for apartments or they're for single family homes, right? So it's basically directly tied to real estate for rentals and single family homes. But people want to see what their vacation space looks like as well, right? It's not just
Sure.
people who are buying homes or renting an apartment. I want to be able to see, hey, if I'm going to Maui and I'm looking for a space to crash there, I'm interested in knowing, what it looks like more than just several photos can tell me,
Yeah.
right? And so I think this is why people would be interested in saying, hey, my first go-to place when I'm about to travel is Showcases 3D, because I want to be able to see what's available in the area that I'm going to be traveling to.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're a family with kids, it's like, okay, I've got boys and I've got girls, and I know like who gets along with whom, and I want to, know how many beds and what the layout of each bedroom is, so I can know who's going into what bedroom. When it's not a big deal when we get there.
Right, exactly. You don't want the regrets, right? That,
Yeah.
photos may lead you to, because they don't give you a full visual of the space.
Yeah. And I
And
think in this case, the floor plan view would be really helpful.
true, yeah, exactly. So a floor plan
Yeah.
like this, yeah, definitely get an aerial view of the entire space, and like,
Yeah.
okay, well, kids, here's where you're gonna stay.
Yeah.
Okay. So mom and dad will be in here in the next room, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's also a good discussion point, especially if you're traveling with a group, because you can share a 3D space with people who may be in your entourage, for example, and everyone gets a little bit more input because they have so much more to look at.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Great idea. It's crazy that it's not being done, but.
Well, we're trying to be the place where the first of its kind platform, can be done with a good sense of integrity, innovation, and impact.
Mm-hmm.
That's our fundamental goals is to be that space for people who want to see much more than what photos can offer.
Yeah.
When they're set for traveling to a space away from home.
All right. So how does somebody set up something like this? How do you sign up for Showcases 3D?
So sign up isn't hard at all. It'll just take you to a sign up page.
You set up an account, right?
And you set up an account, exactly. And you get, I'm wondering if our share screen will take us there. So you'll get an account with a profile page, and your profile will have all of the details and stuff that people who are interested in you as a host of this particular property, they can learn a little bit more about you. And then from there are some other options that are pretty cool. People who do create a post, they can post as many as they want. So if you have several properties, post several properties, right? Maybe you have 4 properties in New York, another 3 in Florida, maybe another 2 in Hawaii, right? So you just post and create and design your post, publish it, and it'll be ready to view. You can categorize it according to the space, the area that your space is in. And so when people who are interested in a space and they open up the Showcases 3D platform, it'll take them to this page here where they'll just type in the area that they're interested in going to, right? And then it'll give them a listing of properties that have been virtualized in that area that they can do an immersive walkthrough.
Now it showed on the property website that you had it had a certain layout. Does it do most of that automatically? And is that the same format for every listing?
Well, it's a DIY design. So some things we have a template that a host can follow, and what they'll do is they'll use the widgets in the editor to place different types of media and different types of information.
Okay.
So we do have 10 standard elements that we urge all hosts to include in their post. So that way it's a complete post and people don't have any trouble finding out, okay, where's the space? Is there a maps? Is there a widget for a live chat? So we urge all of the hosts who do sign up to include those elements in their post.
Okay.
So it's relatively easy. It's not complicated. I can give you a really quick look through at, for example, what the editor can do. It's quite flexible. It's not as robust as actually putting together a landing page. But let's say I wanted to edit this post here, or update it, I can do that, right? And what it'll do is it'll take me to the post itself, but here I'll have editing capabilities. So
nice.
if I want to take this out and say, join a scheduled live tour on mobile or for a particular date. But let's say I'm doing a showcase that's live for that particular property, and I'm just doing something special with it. I can edit that.
That's nice.
Um,
That's nice that the editing happens in situ. Like you're not editing some text somewhere else and then it puts it in here. So that's
no.
nice.
It's actually in the post itself,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
this is your toolbar here. You can add photos, a gallery. You can add video. You can add buttons. You have HTML for your widgets. If you happen to be extremely popular, you can even insert an ad from Google AdSense, right? So it has a lot of flexibility with it. There's GIFs. You could put a table,
Cool.
add files. So there's enough there, I think, for you to be able to design it the way that you like, and still include all of the elements that would make it a a good candidate for a person who is interested in a space in the area that your property is located.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about pricing.
Sure.
How much does it cost?
Well, like I said, right now we're doing half price, so it's $7.99 a month. And once we're like in full gear, I guess probably next spring, we're hoping to have a good amount of traffic to the site. Because right now what we're doing is allowing property hosts to engage prospects on their own. So if you have a listing and you usually put it out on your social media, your email list, your word of mouth, you would do this in the same way. But as the platform grows and now we're getting a lot more traffic from people all over the world, now you'll be able to market your space to a much wider audience than you would if you were marketing a property on a single landing page.
Yep.
Right? Because now you're part of a community that has lots of great stuff to showcase. And people who are travelers or they're avid vacationers, they want to see what you have to offer. So right now it's $7.99.
Okay,
$7.99 a month.
$7.99.
$7.99. Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
and you can put as many listings as you want on
Yeah.
it.
Currently, it's as many listings as you want, and also, we on the side of the 3D property host, property capture professionals, we're currently offering a free sign on until April 15th. So if you sign on before April 15th, there's no cost. You won't have any cost. Costs won't kick in until April 15th, and even that, it's only $2.99 a month.
Whoa. Okay. So you're really banking on getting lots of traction on this.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the objective, is to make it widely accessible, so that anyone who really wants to upgrade their marketing can do so in a really affordable way.
All right.
So I mean, even if you just get one prospect that signs up and books your space, from a 3D walkthrough, you've more than made your investment for that month, right?
Absolutely. So this is what it tells me. This is a bunch of entrepreneurs like you who got together and decided, let's do this. It's not something that's out there yet. We expect this to get a lot of popularity, so we don't want to gouge people. We're making it very reasonably priced. I mean, come on, if you're a Matterport photographer, sign up. You've got nothing to lose at this point, right?
Right, exactly.
And a lot of people come to me and they go, I'm just having a hard time figuring out how to get more work. Well, this is another area vertical that you can go to of rental properties, right? And for nothing until April, you can host them here. build up a portfolio. So this tells me
Right.
that you know what you're doing, that you're not just like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just going to charge you a lot of money. That's not the case. This is going to become a large enterprise platform where a lot of people, this will be the go-to place to look at 3D virtual tours for rental properties.
Right. Exactly. That's the goal.
Yeah.
And so 3D Capture Pros will also have a similar way to post and market their services. So they can create a post and say, hey, I'm doing a discount for, the month of December.
Mm-hmm.
And they can create, a sort of an ad stylized as a post. And they can get that out there. So what I really like about this is that it kind of has like a very familiar social media style to it,
Mm-hmm.
where people can come down to the bottom and then they can, add a comment. They can share the post. So, for example, if someone knows someone else who, hey, I know someone who's going to be vacationing next month. They might be interested in this space here. And so, they would come down to the comment section, you add a comment, and then right here is a link button.
Mm-hmm.
And they can share it, or they can share it right on their social media feeds, with Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook.
Yeah, cool. So it's very well thought out. Very impressive. You are very impressive.
I appreciate that. This is a wonderful looking space, by the way. I think this is probably anyone's dream vacation.
It looks kind of big.
It's huge. It's
Oh,
huge.
it's in the Hamptons.
It's huge. So I think with people who really want to future proof, their rental business, this is
Yeah.
I can't think of a better way to go.
Yep. Yep.
So
Everybody should check this out. I highly recommend this. Sign up. You have nothing to lose.
absolutely. Absolutely. So and we're also very open to feedback. I want people
Yeah.
to experience this and let us know what if any quirks or technical difficulties they've had, or suggestions for something that we currently don't have but should have or could have.
Mm-hmm.
Or general, Q&A, like, how do you plan to execute, X, Y, or Z? We love feedback. We want to communicate and exchange ideas with people who are actually going to use this as a product to, better serve their own clients.
And there's another point. A company that cares about what their clients say is a company that will be successful. Because that's super important. You can sit there and you can build something that nobody wants, which is useless, right? So I
Right.
love the fact that you guys care about feedback and you want that. So terrific. See, you're so impressive on so many fronts. Cool. All right. So if you
Great.
want more information, it's www.showcases3D, SCHOWCASES, the number 3, the letter D.com. Check them out. This has been awesome. Let's stop sharing here so we can see your beautiful
Okay, yeah,
face.
sure.
Here, I'll do that.
So
All right, there you go. Well, Shakuri, your story and your journey in life is absolutely amazing. I know a little bit more about him than some of you know, and he's like a genius. So check it out. He's going to be doing great things, I'm sure. When Airbnb sucks this up and acquires him, I won't be surprised. But until then, check it out. Showcases 3D. I hope everybody watching has learned a lot. I have. And I thank you so much for your time, Shakuri.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely enjoyed this. It gives me a little, pitch practice when, if the time comes for some investors to look at this and say, hey, this is going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's hear your pitch.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that opportunity. hi to everyone who's listening. If you like, you can, reach out to me. You can go directly to the website, or you can catch us on social media. We're on Instagram as Showcases 3D. We're on Facebook as Showcases 3D. If you want to reach me directly, there's ways to do that as well, right on the website.
Cool. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everybody watching. Please stay safe, stay well, and I will see you again in 2 weeks. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.